I don't know. Here we go. Okay, guys. Hopefully this starts to show something. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to go in and out again. I'm going to go into YouTube to check this real quick. Okay, I see myself. Okay, finally, I see myself. Okay, finally. Okay, I wanted to come on here and talk about some things because usually when I get certain things that I'm channeling, I kind of leak it out, and then it tends to get to other people before I'm able to explain it the way I want to explain it. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. So anyway, I want you to look at some pictures, and I want to talk about this because I had to do the channeling last night to get the information because I was requested to go get some information from other people or other societies, and the information I was getting, I wasn't quite comfortable giving that information over because I'm loyalty to Creator first and always. That's the main process, always. So I'm glad to have you guys here to listen to this information because I'm going into a couple subjects. The one that is important is that people should be teaching you to ascend, to be able to ascend, to understand ascending, understand that this flesh body is going to, hey, say the word, expire. And you got to feel comfortable enough to get out of it and know that ascending is part of a process. So if you have a teacher that's teaching you that, good. If you don't, you need to find one that is showing you that. It's very important. So I need a green thumbs up to make sure everybody can hear me clearly. Okay. So for ascending, right now, as this world is changing and our view on how we see this world is changing, is like I keep telling people, imagine yourself walking through a burning fire and you're okay with everything burning in front of you because you have the information and the knowledge of knowing that this is part of the process that's important. And we're at that process right now, that we need to be okay with this. We need to know that this has to go in this direction, in this way, for a certain reason. So this is all of us, of a collage of energy together, ascending as one. And it's important to understand that and see that. So, how can I say this? To be in fear right now, it's not part of the process. To feel like they have control of what's really going on with you and your environment, it's not part of the process because they're not in charge anymore. And so I went over the Diamond Lake, not the Diamond Lake, the Ruby Lake, and explained that in Antarctica. So there's been a lot more things that has happened since that transformation of information. And I've had remote viewers bring in some of this information that I talked to today in a couple days. So things are staying consistent on information that I'm getting. And so I'm first going to start with, I'm going to read some stuff. And I understand that sometimes the way I communicate things can be confusing. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'll try to slow it down a little bit, and because this is going to sound confusing, but this is very important that this information is read and told. So when you see these images, information, you're not freaked out by it. You're not in this scary mode about it. You're not running from the hills from it. I mean, it's just a part that needs to be seen so people can understand what's going on. So I know that you guys know this gal, and this is the subject we're talking about. I know. It's Gina Hill. She she shows you guys a lot of stuff. And I want you to precisely go in and listen to the black cube have been located near a volcano. Now, I've been telling you that there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen near a volcano. So go make sure you go listen to that one. And the activity and what's going to happen. So this, she's right on target on this. Let me just tell you, because it coincides with some information that I have picked up. Another remote viewer from Colorado has picked up. It's consistent with some information that I'm seeing. So it's not just me getting the information, it's seeing a consistency of other remote viewers getting information, and that is being presented. Okay, the title is, it's Gina Marie Hill. Everybody should know her. She's got a good station there. Can you guys see that? So, yeah, go look it up. It's a great video. So, and I'm not tech savvy on blending it in on here yet. I'm not that process. But where she's talking about, these islands, I'm not going to say the name. You guys can say it in the chat, but I'm not going to say the name. And then she sees these cubes. Now, this is very significant for my information. And how I found out about this today is because I did a channeling 2 days ago about some important information about this. So we don't know if it's going to be the right box, but it sure in the heck is matching up. So these areas aren't. So go listen to her video, and you'll know what area that is. So I'm going to go into a dialogue of information about this that I did, transcript. Not everything I can talk about, but there are certain things I can talk about. And the thing was, let me show you a picture first that I had to draw tonight on this. So this, I want to give you an idea. So you're looking in the middle of this. This is not like a normal box you've ever seen. These are not normal. And if you would even attempt to get close to it, there's no way you can get close to it. Sorry. I want you to look at that. That's, it shows you frequency cubes. That was the name it came up with. Because this is, you see how it has a vibration and different type on these, okay? So you guys can see this, right? I know I move it away, so I want you guys to understand. So I had to draw those, and because they were talking about them, and that they would be everywhere. So I'm going to go over this information. So bear with me because I'm quoting things more. I can't talk about everything, but I want you guys just to hopefully hang on with me on this to describe this, and I'm trying to be careful and not release information that shouldn't be out there. So black titanium boxes to arrive to Earth, and it's taking away something, and I'm not going to tell you what it's going to take away, but it's not you. So just so you know. So this is a positive thing, where I'm seeing they're placing these in certain areas that they need to be placed. But this is something that people from this realm cannot get in, like the pyramids. They can't be moved. They can't be blown up. They can't be targeted in any way, because it's a bigger process that has a information about it that is big. And I mean, this comes from creator energy. So I'm going to explain this to you in a very slow manner. So I'm going to go into the way that they show images and how I channel. And so hopefully you can catch up with this information as I talk about this. So first I go up through the keys, and it's quiet here, surrounded in a different quietness. It's just surreal, very quiet this time. And they showed me a river. Now this is very specific on this. It was very fast in how it came. A river, like a glimpse of Earth, but it's a river rapid. It shows very rapid river. Seeing like, and they said Utah, Salt Lake. Now I don't know if it's because of the salt of the lake, or they did say Utah. There's rocks flowing through this certain waves, and they're showing me rapid waves and stuff. So then I hear horns and sounds of different frequency of horns surrounding, alarming, sounding nonstop. So they're saying it's not going to stop for a while. You're going to hear this horn sound, and it's going to be nonstop. And this doesn't mean just in that area. That means everywhere. I hope people understand what I'm saying. So, okay. So sounding an alarm, basically trying to figure out as we walk around in a circulated area of the keys, because they do circulate and they have different, I'd say, how can I explain this to you? Different compartments, different areas for different things. So I'm going up into the center, and I'm going up, and I usually get up there is different from, and then I see tile, this Greek-looking tile-looking floor. It's just weird, different, because everything has history, whether it's in walls or on the ground. It's all tells a tale of information. Hold on a second. So I get up here, I see a different tile, and then there's this gold and pink cloud that is huge in the background. And every time I come up here, I always see a certain specific area with different colors, but this was a different type of energy, and I knew something was big going on with the situation. Okay, hold on, let me go into this. So I have to hide, I can't talk about everything on here, so just be patient with me. I want to make sure I say this in the right way. Um, so I see large eyes on the left side of a crystal. And I'm talking dominant eyes and, just very strong and very giant looking. Because I always feel very small compared to when I go up there and see these beings. So it's very quiet in a different way, and I'm seeing things circulate in this energy and these clouds, advanced mapping in the world. And so they're showing me that these co-creators, I'm going to use the word. So if you had to look down, if you were looking down on Earth and you're seeing this different type of map that's around and higher technology, and they're pinpointing areas on this area of this map. And it wasn't in a fear process. It wasn't a bad process. It was just information that they were sharing. This has nothing to do with the Galaxy Federation. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because I don't tap into those. So just so you know, so you don't have to ask that question at all. So as I'm in the circle of the keys, there's these rooms that are there, and then it looks down upon Earth. And it's very dimensional, but I'm seeing these beings, which I know who they are, around and looking at pinpoints on Earth and seeing these pinpoints. So hold on a second. They show a line in the center of Earth like a convoy of lines everywhere. Lines from the center of the Earth. It has to move to the surface. It's a travel system of supplies that have to be surfaces relating to artifacts. So I want you to imagine when I drew these. Remember, this is like pyramids in our world, and there is always a center, it's the inner Earth. So they're showing me like a system that's inner Earth, that's inside the Earth, of things surfacing on top, coming up very fast, right? Going up, okay? And this is how they talk about this. There's certain things I have to skip. They show me a line in the center of Earth, like a line of things moving and moving and moving. A conveyor line is what I would tell you. From the center of Earth, and it has to move to the surface. Traveling systems of supplies have to be surfaces relating to artifacts. I'm seeing the surface bursting. It's going everywhere. Mountains, islands, all this stuff. It's all connected. They're showing me this. So this is an image I need you to understand. So they say, bursting up mountain lava. I see an island, tropical. Now this is that location that we talked about from the beginning. They are showing me these big reptilian faces, but these are not in an existence of being alive. They are in a dormant state. So that's what I can say. And they are being brought up to the surface, contained. A reptilian-looking beings to be moved through the water and be taken up off the planet. And they have been doing this for 4 or 5 days, they're telling me. This is like looking through a volcano, but don't, thinking that you're seeing a volcano and you're thinking there's this lava, and if you're looking at it from a different dimension, you're not seeing that. You're seeing a working, functioning mountain doing something completely different. I have to describe it exactly the way it is seen. So if your view is looking at 3D, you would think it'd be hot and things would be melting. And then you're looking at it in a 5D, it looks different. So they're brought up to the surface, reptilians looking, moving towards the water and being taken up. So after this mountain terrain of moving this through there, they're moving it towards the water and it's being pushed off planet through these dark boxes, whatever you want to call them, frequency cubes. So I hope I'm not confusing people. You can understand this probably later, but sorry. I can only explain it the way that they tell me, and there's certain information I can put out there. So let's go down to this. They're being brought up to the surface 4 or 5 days. So they've been doing this for 4 or 5 days. It looks like looking through a volcano, but don't, you know, your view, is your view can see it in 3D or your view can see it in 5D. And the magma vision of 3D, no magma in the vision of 5D. So you wouldn't see that. They will do what they need to do with this volcano. There is nothing that man can do. When we are done draining, then you will know. They don't need to know everything. So this is, to me, this is beyond us. This is bigger than us. This is bigger than all this UFO stuff. This is coming from a big, higher source of information that has control of this. And it's not in a fear process or fear way of doing this. This is something that I think a lot of us has been waiting for this process. And I feel it is a positive thing, but there is a lot of things going on with this. So pulling them up, so how are we getting to the box here? And this is how you're seeing it appear. That's just a question I'm thinking in my mind, asking them. Because this is the closest thing. I'm not saying it's completely connected, but there's with the tropicals, it's all coming together. I'm just telling you this. So almost some types of device can open and create energy. So I want you to understand this has an energy around it, a frequency around it, to bring the device through, going to the surface in different areas. At the time, like pyramids. Here we go again. Let me go back to the picture. So imagine those boxes precisely put in areas that need to be. Same as the pyramids. Same the ley lines. And they're set where they need to be at the time that they need to be there. So this is, to me, is no harm to mankind at all. At all. This is a process that needs to happen, part of getting to the next process. It's always been a checklist of information. So hold on, I'm scanning over stuff, what I can say and what I can't say. In Earth, there's a puzzle. Now, this is what's going to confuse you. They showed me a couple weeks ago, they're like, I don't care if it's an island or a volcano on top of our planet. Everything in Earth is like a puzzle. You move planets different ways, different things change. So there should be this puzzle of twisting and turning and placing together. So, I mean, we're taught, you know, a different way of how we're supposed to look at this, but they are showing me it's like the cube, you know, Rubik's cubes we used to work with and all that stuff. And then if it's, so, you know, it gets me to the point that what they showed on this process, you know, everything's starting to make sense with this situation of these plates turning. And it doesn't matter if we're on the top surface and then you have these lower levels of our world, and then if there's all these plates that come together. And that's what's going to be interesting at the end of this, because I give you what I get. And at the end of this is what has to make sense. We have to go and compare back and forth to what was true and what is not. So I'm explaining the way the vision is, you know, and sometimes it's hard to put a lot of information out that I can't put in here yet, and to go through this and explain this to you. So these things are rotating, you know, and they're showing me some, and you saw how everything is being drained with water. So for stuff to surface, there's going to be a portion of drainage and things flipping. So, I mean, at the end of this, there is nobody, and I don't care what type of science they have presented in front of you, what we've been taught. This whole thing is completely different. This is like, and you've heard the fact that, you know, the moon and other planets are not, you know, they're not complete functioning planets. It's a craft. And the more that we're looking at this, the more it's coming true. It's a vessel. It's a vessel. And so let me go back to this. So here we go. This is pretty neat when they talk about this. Okay. So dimensional doors are surfacing around and around. So as this puzzle gets in place, it goes around and around until these, it's, you know what reminds me of the movie Goonies? You know, how everything was a puzzle and everything had to fit together, and before everything would turn the right way. That's what I kind of visualize in the way they're showing it. And that's what's so different about this. So these plates, you know, that are so important with this aligning together. So like a Rubik's Cube, you put together, back together. Then they are showing me a light that comes from above, piercing an alignment together, pyramids, ley lines. And then there's something else I can't talk about until they tell me I can talk about it. So there's a bigger event, a bigger situation that's above all of this, and I referred to another cup that's emerald, representing that. So it is a big city standing above everything. Conscience. To get rid of everything, the negative has to go off the planet. So these cities can arise and raise to their conscience. And so they have already sounded the alarm and the conscience play until everything is done. So you're going to hear those sounds, you're going to hear those alarm until everything is in that higher process of information. It's not going to stop. So I'm going to explain something to you that you're paying attention right now, and they brought up. I got to get the other piece of paper. So animals are inconsistent with energy. And when higher beings and higher achievement of beings work together with energy, animals understand, they're intuitive. And you're seeing, they explain this, you're seeing these animals rotate here, rotate there. It doesn't matter. It's almost like a dolphin effect. And it's creating and developing energy. This is very important. This is part of a process that has to happen. All this is coinciding together. You know, so, and it's almost like, you know, it's not food that's leading, because animals are led by food, around and around. They'll go anywhere for food. But this is a different frequency. This is a different energy that takes control of it. It's not a negative thing. So it's stimulating and circulating. And they brought that into the situation of these shifting, and it's shifting, and it's shifting. And you're going to see more of that. And I would definitely be looking out for animals in the ocean, of what type of rotation they're doing. Like I would be interested in what dolphins are doing right now. You know, these higher frequency animals that understand stuff like that. You're going to see unusual stuff happen. So paying attention to that. and observing that, or if they're going to show you that, they might not anymore, who knows. So let me move on as the movement. So if this whole planet is shifting and changing, and it's almost like it's going back to its original form, and that it's always been able to move. It's always been able to move its own plates. It's always been able to sustain itself. And they call it, going to this golden age. And maybe this is part of that process of getting there. But I could tell you something. The beings that I'm seeing are way above that I think that man has been waiting for. And other species have been waiting for this to happen. And we're in this. So you're going to hear it. You're going to feel it. All of it. And that's one that I've always talked to you guys about. You don't want to miss this opportunity, because this is something that's going to bring you to your knees to make you humble and understand what you're a part of. And that's what's important. And that's why it's important to, get to a point of being awake and being a part of this and being completely in sync with this process. I don't have to be 100% right. I just have to match this information up. And it's strong, let me tell you. Because the stuff that I can't show you, I wish I could, but I can't. It's big, though. So anyway, let's go back. So it'll be like taking... Let me go back here. Sorry, guys. So how can something as beautiful as nature, like nature itself, there be a city interacting with everything? And we're talking about an inner city inside our globe that's always been there, can be cleared. And they're talking about the future being cleared and suddenly very fast, like toxins in our oceans and everything. They're saying it won't take long for that process to happen. People are looking at things in a process of a human condition, and it's not going to be that way. So we need to, let's see, let's make the circle of light, the circle of one of light. We need to not interfere, and no opinions from them, which is, they're saying, the Galactic Federation. They don't need their opinion. They don't need their input on this. It's going to ascend no matter what. Remember what they have to do to get things done. They are, and then they showed me this white and gold pyramid in the sky. It was like this. And, we're talking about that golden age and everything, and I'm seeing these white colors and these gold colors combined together. It's completely combined. So, so the air will be clean. Humans will be able to recreate. Air will be clean. Oceans rejuvenated. Trees of the root of the planet to be resurfaced, and surface to be risen on the way. So you got to look at what's happening right now. And what feels real and what doesn't. Because if you look at two different views, you're going to be looking at two different things. You look one way, you're going to see it a different way. You look at another way, you're going to see it a different way. But this is not the time to be in fear in the situation at all in this process. At all. But, as the sending energy, sending praise, saying that we want a bigger source to take over this process. And I think we're in the process of that happening. And I think in the future, you're going to see some stuff that you thought you would never see. So anyway, I don't think we need the med bed. Sorry. I just believe that we have it within ourselves. When you ascend to that process, we will be able to get into that process. I just believe that. So I wanted to come on, and even though this was quite confusing because it's the way I channel things, but I only give you what exactly I get, that you need to be paying attention clearly to this world right now. And I mean, it's Earth's crust, because the volcanoes, what they were talking about, and everything, and these boxes that are appearing. And I'm expecting, I want to see this. I want to see it up front. I want to see the image of it. Because when it goes inside, it's like infinity. That's the thing about this. It has so much energy around it. So that's the thing. And I just want to come on and explain this to you in the way that I explain things that people do find confusing, but it's the way it is. It's the way it is. And I like it raw, but something's going on. And remember, I told people, you want to know if there's something really going on and change, always look to the animals, because they're telling you, well, they're changing, they're shifting, they're developing, they're listening, and they're doing something that creates energy right now. So it's something to be paying attention to. And if more stuff appears, I really believe that this inner core of our planet is going to shift. And it's not in a fearful way. It's not in a, oh my God, it's not in that. It's a very enlightened understanding of what's going on with things. And so the next days coming, you're going to see good stuff happening. You're going to see it. And I do believe that things are disappearing off this planet the way they need to, in the time that they need to. And in the horizon of this, it will bring you to your knees to witness what's going on and the goodness of it. So right here and now is about ascending, and getting to know yourself in that oneness energy and connecting with that. And I'm telling you, people are not showing it. You find people that will show you that, because this is what's important. It's so important right now. So I have some other stuff I'm going to do on under another interpretation and prediction and writing and drawing, is about what's under the Holy Land. And I believe that's in layers too, in cities of layers and information and certain species that we haven't seen in a long time. And that's another one that I'll be doing. And the Euphrates River, everybody wants me to do that one. So I'm working on that one too. So, I'm all about developing it, showing it, seeing it, along with doing readings for people and bringing clarity to them. So I just wanted to show you this, share this with you. And I want you just to really think about it. Kind of forget, because what we've been taught is wrong. And if you stand outside the box on this and look at it in a clear understanding, how science is not making sense. We know NASA's not making sense. So we're at a point of going within. We're at a point of going within, and I don't feel any fear that I did on this planet 3 years ago as I did. So it's going to be a good thing. So I just want to share this with you. I will let you know when I have those other predictions and drawings and remote viewings done. But like I said, no one has to like this information. I just apply it to where it's supposed to go. And at the end of this, it's got to match up. That's the main thing. I want to see it match up. And that's the main thing about this situation. So I came on here just to share this process with you, but you need to be paying attention to these. Go to her video, listen to it, because it's making sense and you can actually see it for yourself. on Google. I'm not one of those can get on here and just put a bunch of professional pictures up. I'm old school. That's the way I am. So if you have questions, you know how to reach me, contact me. But you guys, pay attention. There's a lot going on. It's good. Have a good night. Stay in the light.